This is SpaceCoastDaily.com here with Commissioner Robin Fisher. Commissioner Fisher, you've been leading an effort to keep the Washington Nationals here in Brevard County. Could you tell us about the plan that's currently in place that you've worked on to keep the Nationals here in Brevard?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the Nationals have been talking for several months about leaving Brevard, and there's been what I call, they always want to talk about the exit strategy, and previous commissioners have had those kind of conversation with them, and I've actually had one or two conversations with them about it, and I made a decision that, when I don't want to talk about exit strategy anymore, I want to talk about keeping you in our Brevard, and so we came up with a plan that we think that will allow them to do that. Remodel the current stadium. There are funds that are generated from the 4 cent on the bed tax that's tied to hotels, and that tax can only be used for sports related and marketing type of things, and so it's not something that we would use for any other thing. So we have that huge investment in that current stadium. We had appraisal done on that stadium, and we recognize that the current asset of that stadium is somewhere around $33 million between the stadium and the training complex. And so we made a decision that, I made a decision that I don't need my commissioner's help on this, but I said, you know what, we got a huge asset, and if somebody's going to go build that, then we've got that advantage, having land, a stadium, and all those things, training complex. And so let's consider that part of the package. And then that stadium got paid off over the last 20 years or so, and so you're capable, like you would your house, you're capable of refinancing it. And so I looked at what that possibility would do. I also realized that we could be eligible for some state money because the state's not incentivizing baseball teams in the state. So we decided, hey, we need to make a play for it. And then so a combination of $3 million in current cash that we have in that account that's got to be designated for stadium use, $13 million of new financing, refinancing the stadium, $13 million of state money because they'll match whatever the community put in. Then bang, we've got a pretty good package.
And of course, we know there are other cities in the state, counties in the state that are interested in having a Major League Ball club. However, some of those cities and counties don't even have necessarily the stadium in place yet. As far as the amount that Brevard is having to spend on this project, does it come close to what those counties are spending? Is it maybe a little bit lower since we already have a stadium in place?
Yeah, I think part of our package is somewhere in the neighborhood of $63 million, but 33 of it is existing facilities. So you got about 30 million of new stuff. Osceola County, they were a $98 million package, and then my understanding is that Dunedin and Houston and all those guys are going to have to come up with a huge thing. So I don't know how we compare with those. I just know that I think with $30 million you can make some huge renovation in that stadium. My theory is that with that you could possibly end up making it a 2-team stadium with that kind of improvements. So that's if it's about getting a second team here, then you got a facility that would house a second team. So that was attractive to me, of trying to put something together that would allow you to do that, to take care of that argument. And then part of this thing I joke around, but I said it reminds me of my buddy who thought he left his wife and thought that it was green on the other side of the fence, and then he finally came back home and said, we got a pretty good deal where I was, And so I think that's kind of what I think the Nationals, they've kind of, they're shopped around and they looked at other communities and other deals, and I think our deal is as good as anywhere. I mean, I'll put up our business environment and corporate partners with Harris and Lockheed and Grumman, North and Grumman, and those type of things. I put our beaches up with anybody. I put our other attractions and stuff. So it's a great community, and I think they might maybe underestimate what we have here.
Well, we thank you for your time and look forward to seeing the developments. Thanks.